What's up guys, Eric here with another video for you. This time we're taking a look at a Medford knife and tool, Praetorian T in D2. So first we'll talk about how it comes. As everybody that follows knives kind of know, you get an awesome case, nicely padded. And I did receive this in trade, and it did not come with the dog tags, but it wasn't that big of a deal to me. You get Greg's business card, little warranty, and as you can see, this one was born August 10th, 2017. So it's young, it's a new one, but there's no denying these cases are very nice, very quality, and that's just kind of a cool thing. So we'll talk about this thing. This was a grail of mine for a very long time. When I first started collecting knives, I fell in love with the design of the Praetorian and started following Greg Medford, and I decided I kind of wanted one, but I just didn't at that point in my life think I was ever going to be spending this much money on knives. Now, it is one hand opening, if you can. I know a lot of people have trouble popping them open, but this one happens to be very smooth and is flickable. It does need a little wrist action, but look at that. It's a pretty sweet knife. Pretty early lockup there. I'm loving that clip. So this is the newer clip design, and I found after watching some of Greg's videos, this clip design is actually really nice to get that claw that he's always talking about, the claw hand. You can kind of rest your fingers right in here and just pull it up. So category of this is definitely going to be that heavy use, overbuilt beast of a knife type of thing, and it holds true to its name. It is solid, no play whatsoever. However, I do think just in today's market, it's kind of, for the price, it's kind of lacking in the bells and whistles. But I'm also not some sort of tough guy or military that uses my knives for some kind of crazy hardcore use. I mean, I just collect them and I enjoy carrying them. I enjoy the design, I enjoy the art of them. I don't even really ever put them through any kind of crazy hard use other than basic EDC tasks. This knife has the capability to do all of that and more. However, I like fidgeting with them. I like the bearing systems. I like the self-close, and this does have a very strong detent, as you can see and you can hear, and it is very nice. It's just a little big for me, I think. So I'll go into a little quick size comparison. Everyone knows the Para 2. And here's another one that will be laughable. Look at that. So, interesting thing about this knife is it is D2 blade steel. That is interesting to me only because I've found that that's a little bit of a steel that's kind of going away for these higher end makers, and that is because Chinese D2 is so damn prevalent now. So an example of somebody who's been using D2 for a long time is Browse, and now it's kind of coming out that it's probably D2, China D2 that he's using. Finding out now a lot of his stuff isn't, I don't know, I guess there's a little controversy behind some of his stuff now, but I have found that this knife is fantastic, and the D2 is holding up for me. No rust or anything. Granted, this one doesn't get out a whole lot, but this one's also crazy smooth. And this is a great knife. I'll do a video on this soon, but it's another D2, and at the price I got this, yeah, it's great. But on something like this, that's in like the $700 range new, I mean, you'd almost be wanting a super steel. And I did watch something Kevin Cleary said the other day about, using your shit basically and types of steels. I mean, I'm not delusional. D2 is more than sturdy enough for any of my needs. 8CR13 MOV holds up for me if I really need it to. But as a collector, I lust after the high-end blade steels as well. That's just kind of part of it, because I've got more D2 for you from China, and it's more affordable. Two Sun knives. I don't even know what model this is, but not sure what happened, but had a little bit of technical difficulties. Here we go. Two Sun. I think this is the TS 2038 or 39 or 28 or 29 or something. And this is one I've attacked here with some heat anno. Did not come from like this, but it did come very smooth. It has a nice self-close, a little bit on the weaker side of the detent, but you're getting maybe not as high of tolerances as you get with the Medford, but I don't know. I can't take it apart. You take the Medford apart, it's voided, it's basically ruined. So, well, I won't say ruined, but you take it apart and the warranty's voided and it's a whole thing, and you're probably going to be publicly shamed if you send it back to Greg on YouTube, and it's a whole ordeal. And Tucson is a Chinese company making these affordable knives, and I mean affordable. You can even win them. I've won this on their by picking names and stuff like that for their knives or whatever. So they've been really cool about that. But this is Chinese D2, and it holds up for its purposes. And this was, these are in like the $50-$60 range. I mean, that's a huge price difference for generally the same type of steel. Granted, this is quite a bit thinner, and the Medford gives you a huge chunk. I mean, look at how thick that is. It is certainly a beast. But if you're not really needing that overbuilt, what's the point there with that price? Here's another Tucson, also D2. Beautiful design. Same gentleman who designed that other one. And look at what you're getting. You're getting the milled pocket clip, etc. All titanium. Great action as well. But there is something to be said about the overbuilt feeling that you do have from holding this. It is very sturdy. But little things. The jimping back here on the spine, it's actually rather sharp. I mean, it grips and it holds. But if you're really cranking on it, I can feel that in my thumb. I mean, that could potentially, you could get cut just from that right there. So, there is some nice milling going into these as well, but there could be a little bit more refinement in there. Maybe polish the inside if you can too, so it matches the rest of the blade. But this thing is sturdy and it does feel reliable, so there's no doubt about that. And as far as overbuilt, here's another example of a Chinese production knife that is very overbuilt. Has the bells and whistles. Fair D10 on here. 3D machined pocket clip. Bearing pivot. Lock bar over travel. Solid titanium back spacer. Smooth action here. This is Riot in District 9 D9B. A little bit of an older model, but I mean, these are just a few of the things you're not really getting with the Medford. So again, you get that clip, and you know, if you watch Greg's videos, yeah, the over travel stop is a nice feature. It isn't necessary, but he's saying, you know, put your thumb over this and you can close it that way without unspringing the lock, and you know, don't put any kind of grease or oil in here other than what I've already done once it breaks in, because then you're going to get lock stick really bad, and there's a lot of do's and don'ts with these, and I personally enjoy taking my knives apart and cleaning them, so I kind of wish that I could have done that with this one. And then it comes to my favorite custom that I own, my Blackstone Valley Knife Works Raven, and this is also a titanium frame lock, non-flipper, an AEBL steel, which is still a pretty nice steel. No lock bar over travel, no stainless steel insert, floating back spacer detail, but the action on this thing is just crazy. And that's just not something I get from the Medford. You gotta really, you know, kind of shake it. So it kind of just depends on what you're into. I'm not a hard use knife guy. I just don't have those applications in my daily life. I can, however, appreciate these types of knives, and I do like it, but it's not quite for me, and that's up for you to decide if you know, this is something you want. It certainly is appealing, but it's a little rough around the edges, is basically all I can say about it. So overall, I do like this knife. I do find that it is very smooth. It is very smooth. However, it's just not, I don't think it's for me. I'm not sure if I'll get any other Medfords, but I do really like the look of the MIDI Marauder. So we'll see. But for now, I've got a Hoback Quayback MK4 coming. So look forward to that video, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.